and welcome to the second part of the Lord of the Rings trilogy reviews, especially with The Hobbit coming this year. Uh, Set up in the Peter Jackson pageantry and magnificence of his trilogy, or his probably all-time greatest films, or set of films. And we are in the second chapter of the Lord of the Rings series. Well, the second chapter of the book, but, the second book, second chapter of the series. And I keep rambling. But this is Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, again starring Elijah Wood and Sir Ian McKellen, Viggo Mortensen, Orlando Bloom, John Rice Davies, and a bunch of other people. This, though not as big in story, and even not as the first one, and not as big in action as the third one, kind of has a mixture of both that I think work out well for the film. Again, the plot is that Frodo and Sam are still trying to get to Mordor to get rid of the ring and throw it in the fire, and then meet Gollum along the way, who would have won a Best Supporting Actor nomination if he wasn't computer generated. And then you've also got Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli trying to defend Helm's Deep, or defend Rohan, but through Helm's Deep, basically. And then you've got Pippin and Merry, who are trying to get Treebeard and the trees to attack Isengard. So that's the whole plot of the film. The whole, basis goes through that. Here's the pros and cons, as I always do in my films. First pro is, again, the story is great, though it's not as much story as the first one. Still, just jam-packed for, 4 hours. I think almost 4 hours, 3.5 hours. It's just jam-packed with story. What was I going to say? Acting, of course, other than minus a few characters who I will mention, is just stellar. They do amazing. Minus Sean Bean, who was only a little bit in there. You've got the guy who actually looks a lot like Sean Bean from the first one. That's why they cast him, and so that's why he's there. Third pro would probably be the visual effects. It won an Oscar for visual effects, and this is why it was really, really good. It's really good. I think the only reason it didn't win an Oscar for Best Picture was because that same year The Pianist came out, and I'll talk about that movie later. But it's a great film. The cons. The cons would be, again, Orlando Bloom. I just do not like his acting, so I wasn't into it. Cate Blanchett only gets 3 appearances, which, though I do not like Cate Blanchett a lot, she's a big major character, so I thought she would have more appearances. Hugo Weaving, not that many appearances. He only has 1 scene, and it's horrible because I like Hugo Weaving as an actor, so I was hoping to see more of him. I was hoping to see when the army of the elves came to help the army of men. I thought that, we would see Hugo Weaving, but we didn't, so kind of a letdown for me. I think that's basically all the cons. I think there may be a couple I'm missing. Oh, another pro is just Gollum, the character. I mean, the character of Gollum is awesome. Again, the only reason he didn't win Best Supporting Role was because, he's computer generated. So, that's it. My final thoughts here. Great film. Not as great as the first one, but it'll get the same score. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, since I do go by 0.5, so I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. And, yeah, that's it. Tomorrow, I'll be tackling Lord of the Rings Return of the King. And today, I'll be tackling also Total Recall. So, that'll be good. The remake.